Hi, hello, welcome to another episode of Soulful Gardening Wisdom. I'm Stephanie Lindloff from Our Natural Wisdom, and it's a joy to be here with you today. I am an eco-intuitive coach and teacher for women who are anxious perfectionists. I help you reclaim your peace through nature. So today our topic is fostering self-forgiveness through soulful gardening. And it's a big topic. It is something that we could talk about in many respects. But today I think I have a unique offering for you to consider about this topic. Anxious perfectionists are pros at beating ourselves up, right? We are so self-critical and self-judgmental. We can really just keep berating ourselves long after a mistake has been made, long after we have apologized and taken responsibility and made amends. So when we talk about self-forgiveness, this is hard stuff, truly. It is not an easy thing to do for ourselves. Yet, there are simple practices that can help you foster a greater ability to forgive yourself moving forward. And it is a practice, I'm going to say. What I am saying is not going to be a, magical solution to forgive yourself of everything once and for all. You know that is something that we would love, but is not necessarily realistic. So I want you to know that this is a practice. This is something that will require time, but it is so worth it because it will lighten the load of that self-blame that you are struggling with. I have been there. The reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because recently I found myself getting into a place of some self-blame. And that's not unusual, but I wanted to share what helps me. Like a lot of people at the beginning of the year, I made some changes in my eating habits and I was doing great. And then I slipped in the last couple of weeks and I started berating myself, getting really critical with myself, judging myself, and just being in that place of deep criticism, which can, as you know, be sometimes so intense and even debilitating. Just being in that place, it's like some old wounds came back up of other things that I've been struggling with kind of deep in my subconscious. So I went from berating myself about slipping up on my eating habits to blaming myself for not being present at the time that my mom died over 11 years, almost 12 years ago now. Now, talk about a heavy burden to carry, a heavy amount of self-blame to carry, and guilt. And this is something that I have felt come up over and over again since she passed away. Now, the circumstances for that are really not the topic of today. The fact that I wanted to point out is that we get ourselves, when we find ourselves in that place of consistent self-criticism and self-judgment and self-blame, and you're really feeling that shame and guilt of something that you feel that you didn't do well enough, it can bring up old wounds. So then it just starts piling on and on and on, and it becomes even harder to step into that place of self-forgiveness. Now, I want to point out that a very common way of speaking to ourselves in this point is using all or nothing language. I'm never going to do this, or I'm always going to do this, or I couldn't ever do that, or I should, or I must. All of those kind of descriptors, if you can feel, if you are observing your thoughts, if you can hear your own thinking and identify those descriptors within the self-talk that you are experiencing, you know that you are in a place that you are being guided by something other than your soul, something other than your highest self, your true essence. Because when we get into that all or nothing thinking, especially anxious perfectionists, it is a slippery slope, and it can really go very quickly to a place of self-blame. So first of all, I want you to start recognizing those language patterns within your self-talk, all right? And that is really the entry into observing your thoughts, being able to observe your thinking and recognize that when you are in a place of berating yourself, it is simply a thought pattern. It is a pattern of thinking that your brain is going to because you have done it so many times. It is just a thought. It says nothing about you as a person. It says nothing about your value, your worth, your capability, your ability to love and love others, love yourself and love others. So when you feel yourself going into that place of self-beration, especially using all or nothing language, I encourage you to take a moment to send yourself compassion. That is the very first thing. Take a breath and send yourself compassion. If you have trouble doing that, then imagine that you are speaking with a friend that is speaking those words to themselves, and imagine the love and compassion and support that you can extend to that loved one. Extend it to yourself. Call upon your beautiful soul, your unconditionally loving soul, to help you access the deep well of compassion that you hold within yourself. Hi, Kay. Thanks for joining this morning. And a lot of people at this point, a lot of suggestions for accessing that place of self-forgiveness will really recommend, doing a lot of journaling and really getting into accepting responsibility and all of these things. You can do this, of course, but I will say that when you're an anxious perfectionist, going into these places of deep analysis and overthinking can actually exacerbate the self-criticism. That has been my experience and the experience of some of my clients and students. So while you absolutely need to go to that place of accepting responsibility, I, in this moment, encourage you to simply allow yourself to be in that place of recognizing that you have a thought pattern that is punishing yourself. That thought pattern is preventing you from releasing that heaviness of blame and guilt. And the Soulful Garden and all of nature provide us such beautiful lessons on how to access that compassion and that place of self-forgiveness. When we look in our gardens, especially at this time of year, we see a lot of dead plants, we see a lot of leaves, we see a lot of things that have overwintered in the garden. These aspects of nature are all representing the value, the need to let go, to release. Because when things are released, we allow for growth. We allow for love and light and beauty and joy and growth. Imagine if you had a tree in your yard or a bush that loses its leaves and it never lost its leaves. Imagine how that living, breathing entity would suffer and be unable to grow and to really display its true essence, to provide love, to provide nourishment, to provide shelter to all of life. There are parts of us, and including many of these thought patterns that we get ourselves into, that we will honor ourselves and honor all of life, honor anything, anybody that we believe that we have wronged, by letting go of that blame and shame and guilt that is associated with life, with being a human. We make mistakes. We know that. So we can access that place of self-forgiveness so easily in nature. We can allow ourselves to observe our thought patterns. We can hold those thoughts in the palms of our hands and allow those thoughts to be let go, to be released, to be dissolved into the open, fresh air, to be returned to something that is life-affirming. Just like all of the leaves and all of the spent flowers and plants from last year, this is the season of rebirth, and it is such a reminder that in order for us to be rebirthed, to really step into our essence and our growth, we can also let things go. When we let things go, we are honoring ourselves and we are honoring all of life. So this is a real act of self-love, and it is a practice. It does require practice. Just as I shared at the beginning, the things that have been surfacing for me, especially related to my mom's death, it is a practice. It is a practice in reminding myself that I can shed that guilt, I can shed that blame, I can return to love, return to my soul and the beautiful compassion that she is always providing me. I can return to Mother Earth and to all of the reminders of how we are meant to release and let go in order to be restored, refreshed, renewed, so that we can go on to live a beautiful life, a life that is honoring our truest essence. So right now I encourage you to just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Allow yourself to experience how Mother Earth is supporting you in this very moment. How you are resting so beautifully upon the earth. And breathing into that space, imagine how you are like a plant or a tree, and you have leaves that are ready to be released, that are ready to be let go. These leaves represent old thought patterns, ways of thinking, criticizing, judging, berating yourself. They are time to be released. They are time to be let go, because there is so much beauty and joy and life that is ready to emerge from that place. As you let go, you are honoring yourself. You are making amends in the truest sense. You are allowing life to flow through you so that you can go on in this beautiful human life in a soulful, spiritual way, so that you can serve as an example for your loved ones, for your community, so that you can be the light that this world so needs in these times, and that you can feel that compassion and self-love that is always available to you in partnership with your beautiful soul and accessible to you with Mother Earth. So breathing into that space, allow yourself to envision releasing those leaves, releasing anything that is time to be released in this moment, so that you can return to that place of self-love. And know that this is a practice. Invite your soul to guide you in this practice throughout your day, anytime you experience those all or nothing thoughts, those criticisms within yourself, first send yourself compassion and then visualize how you can release those thoughts. This is fostering self-forgiveness. I hope that this resonated with you today. There's so much to say about this topic, and I imagine I'll be covering it again in the future. Right now, though, I am delighted to invite you to my online course, Reclaim Your Peace, Cultivating Self-Compassion Through Soulful Gardening. Enrollment for spring is now open. You can click the link in bio or the link in the caption for all of the details. I encourage you to check it out if this kind of work resonates for you. This is a one-of-a-kind gardening course. It's not just about gardening. It is about cultivating self-love, self-compassion. And we start on Monday, April 10th. So if this resonates for you, please do check it out. It would be such a joy to share that journey with you. Have a lovely day, everybody. See you again next week. Oh, and actually, I just wanted to let you know that next week I am going to be doing a live on Thursday at the regular time. However, it is going to be a part of a special 3-day offering. And we will be meeting. I will be here live on Instagram on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I'll be posting that information in the link in bio very soon as well. So I hope to see you there. Thanks again. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye.